What the going on this team, Jerry?
Bury him! Bury him!
Jerry, TJ Watt.
He is the best defensive player on the planet.
Go! Yes! Yes! We're going to fire! Steelers fans! Bang! Run it down their throat!
No! That's not a penalty!
Game over! Game over! Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
He's aggressive.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime jersey, Jerry. Jerry Don, I can't remember the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers have had one full season without wide receiver drama, and it looks like another storm is brewing with George Pickens.
Yeah. You know, Kev, right before we started recording here, I put out a tweet earlier, video of George Pickens doing an interview and whatnot. And to me, it looks so bad. And then you have people coming out of the woodworks supporting George and saying like, oh, this was the right way, how you handle an interview. I gotta take my Lucy out for this. Give me a second. I am shocked at the amount of people who found nothing wrong with those interviews he was doing. The body language was terrible. He was given like one-word answers. I get it. He's frustrated. Dude, he is a cancer. He's a cancer. We've stuck up for George more than any other show that I've listened to.
Yep.
We've always given him the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
We've always said he was an all-world talent. Has all the talent in the world, just the effort has not been there.
Yep.
Hasn't been there. He'll show flashes here and there. At the end of the day, Kev, honestly, what the fuck has George Pickens done? You tell me what George Pickens has done to be acting like this, because he hasn't done anything in my eyes. We've supported him, since he's been drafted. Like I don't understand what the fuck these people are talking about. He's doing nothing wrong. Have you seen the routes he's running? He's jogging. He's walking. He doesn't block anymore. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm about done with the guy. I know the Steelers fucking suck, especially at wide receiver. I think they have no choice, but to get rid of him before the deadline. I really do. It just seems like a cancer.
This is, we saw it his rookie season, and then you saw it again last year. Whenever he doesn't get the ball, he's not a happy guy. Deontay Johnson, same, wouldn't block at the line of scrimmage whenever he fumbled against the Bengals that game. You see it with George Pickens now. There are routes where he has a route called, I think it's called a get over or something like that, where you better get your ass from the left sideline to the right sideline. You see him just mosey up through the middle, mosey across the right of the field, and then Fields throws the ball. He's not going to get open because it looks like he's running at 70%. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tomlin makes the comments post game after the Cowboys loss, and he says that it was about snap management. And Tomlin has his interview on Tuesday, and the media asks him again, was it snap management? Did you have a conversation with George about the eye paint fucking always open or whatever it says across his black eye paint? And Tomlin kind of poo-poos it and says, it was snap management. We've looked at the analytics over the course of a season. You want to limit guy snaps. Oh, I think we all agree that's all bullshit. Okay.
Yes.
That's all bullshit. And
he's a liar.
When the one piece of information I think has helped me see this more than anything is when you talk to TJ, and TJ said Tomlin does correct people, but he does it all in-house. He never does it in the media.
Yeah.
And that is what you're seeing. Obviously, if he did correct him, they took snaps off the field. That's why George wasn't getting as many snaps. It's not about snap management. That doesn't mean a fucking thing, in my opinion. It's that they're punishing him. The problem is you take him off the field, he gets even more pissy and more pouty, and then his production gets worse. You don't have other playmakers, so then the product as far as an offense fucking sucks because you don't have Calvin Austin can't be wide receiver one, Van Jefferson can't be wide receiver one. So they're in this shitty boat where George Pickens has them by the balls because they have to play him.
Yeah.
But when he's out there, his effort is shit if it's not a play where he's likely to get the ball. I heard Ben say on his podcast, he's like, it's unfortunate, but there are run plays where you can't even use them anymore because, George probably isn't going to block for it. Or there are plays they can't use if George is not the primary target in order to get the football. For everyone, circling back to the people that are defending him, that's how you handle an interview. He's doing nothing wrong. Look, man, I fucking love George Pickens' talent. I think he is a phenomenal football football player. I think if his head were in the right place, he could be a top 10 wide receiver, no questions asked, on talent if the work ethic matched the talent. But he doesn't have the work ethic. We heard yesterday he comes late. He shows up late to the meetings. He's late in getting into the facility. He doesn't give tons of effort. Freiermuth defends him and says he's in a good mood this week. George knows he needs to have more effort, things of that nature. The frustrating part is this is year 3 now. It's not year 1 where you're a rookie, figure it out. It's not year 2 where they struggle. You're struggling at the quarterback position. This is year 3, and next year you're looking to get a contract. For him to be doing this, it's indefensible. It is a 53-man roster, and it is 11 guys on offense, and all 11 have to buy into the same fucking plan. If it's a run play, you block your fucking dick off. If it's a passing play, you run hard as fuck to get open for your quarterback. Or you run as if sometimes on wide receiver routes, you're not going to get the ball. That's how they're designed. You're a distraction. You run hard as shit. You drag a guy out of the position so another guy can get open. George Pickens only seems to want to play George Pickens football. So it is indefensible. As Steelers fans, you can't just keep getting by saying, I love this guy's talent. It's not George's fault. Throw him the ball more. Throw him the ball more. Yes, throw him the ball more. I agree. They should be giving him 10 targets a game at a minimum because you have no other options. But if he doesn't get it because the game plan doesn't dictate it, or Fields doesn't throw him the ball, or if Russ ends up playing, he doesn't get him the ball, he can't just fucking pout. That part to me is indefensible.
Oh, 100%, dude. Like you said, I mean, we've defended George for 3 years now. I'm just kind of over it. I really am. Maybe it's an overreaction from me, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. At this point, I don't care if he stays or goes. I don't care if we trade him and try to get some assets or a pick for him or something like that. I don't care if he stays either, to be honest with you. His effort is, you look back, even to the rookie year, it's like, how often does he really run hard? Right. Like, how often is he really running hard routes? You know what I mean? It just, he seems like he's always jogging. I don't think, all these receivers nowadays, though, I mean, three-quarters of them are probably fucking divas, which it is what it is in the NFL today. But he's definitely a diva. He's showing that, especially this year. 3 years of this, Tomlin can't seem to get it under control. Wide receiver coach can't seem to get it under control. Arthur Smith can't get it under control. His teammates can't get it under control. What the fuck are you going to do? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he bounces back. I mean, I hope he does, but it just seems like the way this offense is going, it's just another year of this. Georgia is most likely so frustrated that he probably wants out. I don't know if he wants to stay in Pittsburgh. He probably would like to go somewhere else. It would not shock me if he gets traded before the deadline.
Yeah, but Jerry, here's the thing: you trade him, and then you're pretty much punting on the season. That's why I'm saying he's got them by the fucking balls. You simply can't trade him because we don't have another option. Now you trade him, you say you get a Devontae Adams, then maybe you trade him, but then you still only have one wide receiver 1, and you still don't have a 2. So then Devontae Adams gets frustrated. This to me all circles back to they went into this season with George Pickens as wide receiver 1, and they probably had all their eggs in the Brandon Ayuk basket. It doesn't fucking work out. Now you're left with your dick in your hand. You don't have any other options. George Pickens is bending you over a barrel. You don't have any option. You have to play him. You have to fucking play him. And
yeah,
so
I mean, they got no choice.
This was a misstep by Omar Khan, but to me, it comes down to how the hell didn't you know George Pickens was a bit of an issue going into this season? And we're not shitting on him for reasons because he's not playing good. It's simply because he's giving no fucking effort. And it's not that he's a bad blocker and he's a shitty blocker. I can get away with saying, okay, like a Calvin Austin, the guy's not very big. I don't expect him to be a great blocker. It's that he's giving no effort on some run plays. Like he doesn't even fucking try, dude.
Yeah, no, that's the sad part, man. When a guy that has much talent as he does,
that we've seen block his ass off before.
Could you imagine George Pickens with the AB work ethic?
Right.
I mean,
that's the thing. It was never about work ethic with AB. Was he a diva?
No.
Yes. Was he an arrogant motherfucker? Yes. But on Sundays when they strapped it up, that motherfucker won 100% every snap.
Kevin, that's my biggest problem here with George Pickens. AB got away with it for a long time because he was putting up crazy numbers and he was the best wide receiver in the NFL for a long time. George Pickens has done nothing in 3 years to be able to act like this. He has done nothing, okay? So for people coming out and defending him, I don't know what you're defending. He has done nothing. He has accomplished zero through 3 years. Sure, he has all the talent in the world. Sure, he makes some crazy catches. He don't score touchdowns consistently, I'll tell you that much.
Right.
He's not getting 7+ catches a game consistently. He ain't getting 100 yards. You know, maybe what does he have? 100 yards every fucking 13 games? Like, who are you to be acting like this? You know, it shouldn't be happening. Mike Tomlin, I don't know if he's lost them or what. But you've seen Mike Tomlin discipline him. If George keeps acting like this, what do you expect to happen? Do you think Mike's just going to give in and just say, yeah, fuck it, we can't control George. He's going to be out there anyway.
Right.
I think Tomlin continues to reprimand him.
I'm guessing that he is behind closed doors. I would just assume that he is, and everything else is coach speak. And, you know, initially we're like, why the fuck is Tomlin giving us that bullshit excuse? But you know why he was giving it. He was giving it because he was protecting him. Maybe he chewed his ass off behind the scenes. But then for George to go out and do his interview today and take no accountability at all. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Was I wrong?
No.
And that looked really bad.
It was terrible. He took no accountability at all.
Zero.
They asked
how
him.
Are people saying that he's acting perfectly fine?
Right. You know, he blamed Arthur Smith. They're like, George, do you think, it's that effort thing of getting back on the field? And he's like, that's Arthur. You got to ask Arthur that. That's game plan. I mean, he blamed everybody, but just accepting that he wasn't giving maximum effort and that he, wasn't part of why he's the one losing out on snaps. And so for me, it's like, God damn it, it's time to grow up. Like, it doesn't matter, guys, if he has all the talent in the world. You can't. That's Deontay Johnson. That's Deontay Johnson still. Yeah. It's a bad apple, man. You can't win with those guys. To me, it comes back to, do you remember when the Patriots had their dynasty? And I mean, they were so fucking good, and they had bums out there, Jerry. At wide receiver, I mean, you're talking Chris Hoke, the guy plays lacrosse, these types of players. But their motto was, do your job. Okay. And that to me is a great fucking motto. Just do your job. If every single person does their job, the results will come. If you can't get George Pickens to buy in and do his job, you can't win with that guy in the long run. Yes, you'll have a couple good games here and there. And you said, what? I'm hoping he has a bounce back game. Fucking A, I hope he has a bounce back game. But the next time he doesn't have a bounce back game, he can't go back to doing this shit though.
Exactly. That's the biggest concern. What if he comes back this week and he has 100 yards and a touchdown? Next week he gets fucking 75 yards, and then the week after he gets 2 targets.
Right.
What are we going to go back to that George again? You know what I mean? You can't have it. I don't see George coming back and lasting the rest of the season with a humble attitude, you know what I mean, and taking accountability for his actions. I don't see it at all.
It's just not going to happen. That's not how that guy is wired. That's us lying to ourselves if that's what we think is going to happen. And I don't care what any of the players say in defense of him. Oh, George just wants to win. He's a hardworking player. None of that means shit to me. They're all saying the right things to the camera. You know goddamn well, at the end of the day, those guys all think to themselves, this guy's a fucking shithead if he's not going to try. Last year at the goal line in the Colts game, he didn't want to block for Jaylen Warren because he said he didn't want to get rolled up on, but like Nico Collins did in Houston. And so then you have Tomlin has a talk with him. George's attitude's a little bit better for a few weeks, but you shouldn't have to keep having talks with guys every couple of weeks when things don't go their way. So for me, that's the biggest thing. It's hard to even blame it on Tomlin. I think this is one of those guys that eventually you just have to say, we can't save him and you got to cut bait. And I'm not saying do it right now, but Jesus, man, would you be happy if they gave this guy 3-year contract for $80 million in the offseason?
No.
That's horrifying to think about.
I don't think that's happening either, by the way. I don't care how he finishes the season. I don't think that's happening.
So then where does that leave you? If you don't go add another wide receiver right now and you have to continue to play George Pickens, they're handcuffed. And to me, that's like the biggest concern of where we're at as a football team right now. It's like, Jesus, we've said for years, George Pickens is a ticking time bomb and this thing is ready to fucking go nuclear.
Kev, we said it to the start of the season.
Yep.
We've said it last year.
Yep.
It is a ticking time bomb with this guy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And you're starting to see it now. And who knows? The explosion could be trade me. I'm done. I don't want to play no more. Just trade me away before the deadline. I could see that happening. So who knows where they're going to go. Moving forward to, the Raiders game, I think it's a tough spot, man, for a lot of pressure on Fields here. This is do or die for him.
Yep.
This is you're either going to keep your job or you're going to lose your job during the game or after the game. So there's a lot of pressure on him. They got a good D line, with Crosby and Wilkins. They get to the quarterback really well. I don't know, man. It's a tough game, low spread. Najee usually plays good in these Raiders games, though.
He does. And
I'm hoping he has a good game.
This, to me, is going to be a very interesting game to see a few things. Justin Fields, top of the list. Yes, this is likely his last start. If he doesn't play well, pretty sure it looks like it's leaning towards Rush. Just given everything we've heard in the media and the way Tomlin is now answering these questions, I would be shocked if Fields doesn't get the start on Sunday, because they're saying there's a chance, 50-50 chance. Kaboli thinks that. Now, Kaboli has been a big-time defender in Russ, being quarterback one, but he seems to believe Russ probably starts on Sunday. A lot of other people are saying,
wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, he says that's your best chance of winning is to play Russell on Sunday. But let me pose this to you before we get to some of the other aspects of the game. Say Fields does start and he plays well, pretty well, 280 yards, couple touchdowns again, looks a lot like the Colts game, but he does it for 4 quarters. The Steelers beat the Raiders. Okay, then are you going to go back to Russ then for the Jets game? Like, are we going to be doing this limbo every fucking week?
Yeah, I don't think I don't know, man. It's tough. I don't like if Fields goes out there, wins the game, and plays really good. I don't think they go to Russ. But then what happens if he has that's the thing. Like, are you cutting off Fields if he has one more bad game, no matter if he goes on a 3 or 4 game winning streak and then drops a game?
That's
and looks
what I'm
bad?
saying.
Like,
so say he plays great today. They get a hard Jets defense, next week. The Jets offense sucks pipe, but their defense is pretty damn good. So say you get the Jets next week. Are you going to throw Russ in for his first game against the Jets defense, or does Fields get another look at it? And if Fields plays bad then the following week you go to Russ, or if Fields plays good against the Jets, the following week you're going to give Fields another look. Like, that's where I'm saying this is where it gets sticky. Tomlin just has to say, look, this is our quarterback or he's not our quarterback, because this shit can get messy fast.
Yeah, dude, and it seems to be trending that way. The more Fields plays, and I don't know if Russ is one of those guys who's going to cause drama, because I don't think he's not. I think
no, he doesn't.
He'll
strike
be pretty
me as
open.
that.
Yeah, he'll be pretty open in regards to, hey, maybe trade me before the deadline to see if I can get a shot somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't see him causing drama or anything like that. Listen, let's face the facts. Russ wants to play. I'm sure he's wanted to play since fucking 2 or 3 weeks ago, So he definitely wants to play. If it was me, dude, I mean, if Russ is 100%, I'm starting him this week. I don't want to start him against the Jets for his first time, back in action. I'd rather go against a weaker defense like the Raiders, get him into some rhythm, you know what I mean? Get him going, his first game back, and then the Jets game really lock in, so he'll have, a start under his belt before the Jets game. But I think they're going to go Fields to start. We'll see what happens after that.
So if Russ is 100%, so that we're clear, you would play Russell Wilson Sunday against the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, if he was 100% ready to go, I'd play Russ Sunday.
I mean, he practiced in full yesterday. We're recording Thursday at 2 p.m., so it sounds as though he's practicing in full again today. There were no setbacks that we heard as of him practicing full yesterday. So you would think that, I mean, he's 100%. So you're gonna find out if he ultimately plays or doesn't play. But you look back. I had posed a question. I said, I don't know if I would take Russ or Fields moving forward after the Cowboys lost, because does Russ maybe score more points? And then I get to watch the game back. And there are a lot of plays that I feel like sometimes, and I posed this to you, it's not that Fields is not a good quarterback or he's making bad plays. He had some drops. He had some terrible drops, man. Yards that...
Pickens, Van Jefferson,
Connor Hayward had a couple. Those balls get caught. I think his stats look much better. I think the outcome of the game is much different. However, they didn't get caught. But for me, there are several plays where he does have guys open and he's looking in the wrong direction sometimes. I mean, wide open. Calvin Austin across the middle, out, should have that ball. He doesn't even throw it. Instead, he forces the ball to the right sideline to Van Jefferson. So he missed some throws. But where I said, could Russ be better? And a lot of people have chimed chimed in on Twitter and they're like, well, yeah, he reads the defenses better, this, that, and the other. When I watch it, there are specific plays, and this is where I think very intelligent quarterbacks know the down and distance, and they know just higher percentages if you want to move the chains. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Fields is rolling out of the pocket. He has Fryer move short in front of him. He could pick up the first down. Instead, he throws a longer ball over the top to George Pickens, or he's throwing longer balls downfield. On 3rd down, I don't always want my quarterback to be swinging for a home run. I just want to advance the ball, get the first down, move the sticks.
I like that 1st and 2nd down. I like that 1st and 2nd down. Take your shots.
Agreed. And so that's where I just feel like sometimes Fields is still growing. He's still maturing. I ask this of you. Given how sketchy the offensive line has been, and I know you really are worried about Broderick Jones at this point, my biggest fear is that, okay, you bring Russ in, you still don't have great weapons at wide receiver, and he can't move incredibly as fast as Justin Fields does. Does that then hinder the offense even more than Fields does by not knowing how to read a defense?
You know, I go back to what you just said previously before that. Like, I don't think so, because maybe Russ just has better reads, quicker reads.
Yep.
He already knows what the defense is in, and he knows he's got to get the ball out quick here and there. You know, there's been some plays where, you know, guys are unblocked, and, you know, Justin has some slow pocket presence, you know, and he struggles to get that ball out, you know, quick. So I think Russ handles it better like that. I like Justin Fields' athleticism. I really do. I wish we had Russie with Fields' athleticism and Russie's, brain.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so I've come around to the idea if Russ starts, it's not going to break my heart because you said it. We just got to see. And I do kind of just want to see.
Listen, I just want to see, bro. And if he stinks, okay, Fields is your guy for the rest of the year. Like, if Russ comes out and he's a shell of himself and he fucking sucks, hey, so be it. At least we tried. At least we didn't waste all year without knowing what he had or what he didn't have. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can always go back to Fields. And like I said last week on the show, I'm not worried about confidence being broken. You get paid millions of dollars to play football in the NFL. If you can't if your confidence is going to get broken over you losing your job for a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever the case may be, maybe you just don't deserve to play in the NFL.
Yeah, initially I had said I don't give a shit about people's confidence, and then I'm in the same breath, literally a minute later when I watch it back, I'm like, I also said that I'm worried about Fields' confidence getting rattled. I think he's a realist too. He knows that Russ was QB1. Now, I still think that Justin Fields has the potential to be the quarterback of the future for this team. It's not Russ. We know it's not Russell Wilson. Like,
I mean, for the future, I don't think so. No,
he's just too old, in my opinion. And I think Fields has shown us enough that if you get him some weapons, if you get him some legitimate weapons, I think he can be a very good quarterback. I do still think he has some learning to do, and it's like what we said. Maybe he needs to get better at processing defenses and things of that nature. I don't know any other way you get better at it other than actually playing, though. But you know, you look at a guy like Sam Darnold a few years ago. That guy sucked dick at reading defenses. Now he's playing great for the Vikings. So sometimes just sitting behind a guy, getting your bearings back about you, collecting information from a guy who is likely a Hall of Famer in Russ, you know, those types of things can help him maybe process defenses better, reading them at the line, things of that nature. So would I be upset if they start Fields on Sunday? No. Am I going to be upset if they start Russ on Sunday? No. I am optimistic that Justin can be the quarterback of the future. I really would enjoy seeing the offense be good this year. But Jerry, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good the offense is. The defense got absolutely throttled again by the Cowboys on Sunday, a week after getting throttled by the Colts. Now, maybe they only gave up 20 points and they had 3 takeaways and the blocked field goal, but when you watch it back, they gave up a shitload of yards in that game. And if not for the gifts from Dak Prescott, you know, we'll make a 50-50 ball out of the Joey Porter Jr. interception, but the one on the outside of Dante Jackson, that's just a terrible ball by Dak Prescott in the red zone. The one thing that pisses me off, though, is that Mike Tomlin said in his presser, he said, yeah, they had the 3 takeaways, but they didn't really tee up the offense for points.
It's crazy, bro. What does he expect? What does he want? the defender to intercept the ball and run it down to the 1 yard line and say, okay, Najee or Justin, punch it in? Is that what setting up the offense is? Go fuck yourself, bro.
I mean,
They took
takeaways
away
are
the ball 3
takeaways.
times and blocked a field goal.
Yes. Takeaways are takeaways. So they did get the takeaways, but you can't. That's 2 weeks now, man. That's 2 weeks now that the defense is getting gashed. And then you lose Herbig, and you know Highsmith isn't going to play Sunday. Herbig's out for an extended time with the hamstring. I mean, you're going to have bums at the opposite side of TJ Watt pass rushing. Now, luckily, you're playing not a very good Raiders team, but a Raiders team that they do have one good win on their schedule. They beat the fucking Ravens.
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, you don't know. I mean, was Aiden O'Connell going to show up? I mean, you never know. I mean, it's just Max. I mean, listen, I think number one, I would be worried about Max Crosby.
Yeah.
100%. Him versus Broderick Jones is going to be very interesting to see because I think he's going to abuse Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones is having a tough, and I thought he was a little bit better watching, you know, there are all sorts of people that clip out every snap of Broderick Jones, both pass rushing and run blocking. I don't think his run blocking is it needs work. I mean, he needs work at both ends. He needs work at both ends, but, you know, I didn't think his run blocking was very good given that that's a little different than pass blocking in a position you're not used to. His run blocking, sometimes he's just taking bad angles. It's bad effort. You know, I don't know, man. I have some concerns about Broderick Jones's ability to block. On the other side, though, at left tackle, we just have to say it. It's time I finally admit this. Dan Moore Jr. has been playing pretty fucking good, dude. Both in the pass rush, blocking and run blocking. Dan Moore Jr., I hate to admit that because, you know, we've been so hard on that fucking guy, but he has been playing pretty damn good. Zach Frazier is incredible. Mason McCormick played damn good. You know, there are some bright spots on that offensive line. If Broderick Jones could get it figured out, the line to me doesn't seem like it's the problem. You know, the reason we don't get it going in the running game is because it's so fucking predictable when we're going to run the football.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know, I was watching another Steelers podcast, no free shout outs, but I was listening to another podcast and there was a caller who brought up, is Najee more the problem or the offensive line more the problem or is the scheme more of the problem? And I think, you know, when I look at everything, it seems to be the scheme because it seems like whenever we run the ball, it seems like there's 7 people in the box.
Every time. Every
and
single
it seems
time.
like they just know we're going to run the ball. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big problem. I think they have to pass a lot more on first and second down. I really do. You know, I would like for Fields to go out there and throw the ball 35 times.
Jerry, and if they're really going to give them, this is the last look at them, take the fucking chains off finally. Take the chains off entirely. Start the game as if you're down 14-0. With that mindset, look, we got to go get points on the first drive and every drive thereafter. Sling the ball, soften the defense up, then use the run game. We've said it so many times. They don't have a run game because nobody fears their passing game. If they don't start forcing teams to worry about the passing game, they're just going to continue to say, fuck it. George Pickens is not going to beat us if we double him on the outside, and I'm not worried about any of these other guys beating us. A guy that they really need to involve in the passing game is Pat Freiermuth. Jerry, you pay him all this money. He's your number one tight end. You have not many other weapons on the offensive side. Throw Pat Freiermuth the fucking football.
He's essentially their second receiver.
He is their second receiver, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so they need to get him more involved. We'll see what happens, man. I don't think this is a blowout type of game. I'd be shocked if the Steelers blow them out. I think it's a close game. I'll give the edge to the Steelers on the road, but you know, I'm very, very worried about Max Crosby and just disrupting this offense.
That's why you're going to have to do things that are quick passes. That's, again, where it comes back to Pat Freiermuth is going to have to be a big part of the game plan. Sometimes you're going to have to use Max Crosby's overzealousness of wanting to rush so hard against them. You're going to have to do some slip screens. You're going to have to do some screens to the wide receivers on the outsides. You're going to have to get
Throw
the
ball to
ball.
Najee, too. Get Najee in the screen game. Get him in open space. I know he's not the fastest, but he could break tackles, dude. They just run him outside like he can beat defenders, and he just can't.
Right. You remember remember his rookie year, how much Ben used him in the passing game?
Oh my God, he was catching like 5, 6, 7 catches a game.
Just a ton of dump offs, and he was doing stuff with it, and so it's almost like that has just died when it comes to Najee Harris. So I ride Najee Harris's ass because someone said it looks like he runs in construction pants and fucking work boots, and I agree he's not the fastest guy, but you got to help him. Like, at this point, you have to help him. I hate to shit on a guy like Connor Hayward, but he misses some blocks, man. He misses some blocks, lots of fucking blocks. And when Broderick is missing a block, and then Connor Hayward is missing a block, Najee's fucking having to dodge guys at the line of scrimmage the same way he has the last 4 years. So, to me, it comes back to the coaching aspect of it. We hit on this earlier. You have new offensive coordinators, new quarterbacks, new schemes, and yet the Steelers still continue to come out very conservative. That's Mike Tomlin. At the end of the day, that is Mike Tomlin. That will continue to be Mike Tomlin. He's not just magically going to fucking wake up one day and be like, hey, you know what? Let's air it out early. So if it's going to continue to be this way, I'm going to go back to putting my foot on Mike Tomlin's neck, because, Jerry, I can't continue to watch this same shit over and over and it never changes.
Yep, man. It's I feel like we're back, man. This is the Steelers team that we're all too familiar with, and it's sad to see. I really thought this team was different. I really did. I hope I'm wrong. It seems to me like it's the same 9-8 type of team.
We'll find out Sunday. To me, this is a get-right game. You're saying you don't expect a blowout. Last year, we went into Vegas, and we beat the shit out of him. It was Kenny's one of his best games of his career at that point, up to that point. You hit the deep ball to Calvin Austin. We had Pat Freiermuth, I want to say, had a good game. There are things that they're going to have to just really take care of this Sunday. And to me, the defense needs to play better football. I get it. You're going to be without Alex Highsmith. You're going to be without Nick Herbig on the edge, but you still have a ton of other playmakers. A guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick has to start making some plays, Jerry.
He does, man. He's got to start making some plays. You see some poor communication on the defensive end. Minkah's talked about it in some pressers where the communication is just not on point. They got to fix that. There's times where guys are just left wide open, and Minkah's on the whole other side of the field, and this guy's running free down the sideline.
Yep.
So they got to figure that out. They got to tighten it up. One guy I've been impressed with, if I give the Steelers an MVP right now, it'd be Deshaun Elliott.
I think Deshaun Elliott has been phenomenal. Yeah, Deshaun Elliott, in my opinion, is playing better football than Minkah Fitzpatrick is playing right now.
I'd agree with that 100%.
They do score on him on that 4th and goal to end the game in the Cowboys game. But again, that's where I asked you, I'm like, why is that Deshaun Elliott's man? Why are you not having Minkah Fitzpatrick as the defender in that situation? Another guy I want to shine some light on. He hasn't gotten as many snaps this year because Peyton Wilson has took over some of the inside linebacker reps. Landon Roberts, Jerry, he makes that play, diving over, hitting
Massive.
the running back, forces the fumble. If Miles Killebrew jumps on that motherfucker, we're talking about this much different, as in the defense did make the plays they had to make to win it. I love a Landon Roberts game. He's a bad motherfucker. He reminds me of Vince Williams. Will just sacrifice his body, lay it all on the line, and beat the shit out of you. No matter what happens, he's going to lay it on the line for the team. That's the type of guy you can win with. All heart.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
Anything else you want to add to the Raiders' outlook? Let's get into the betting then.
Yep.
So last week, Jerry Don, you had placed 2 bets. You had won the week before, so you got to place 2 bets last week. You had bet go ahead, read them off to me. You had George Pickens anytime touchdown, I believe. And
I did, yeah. I think that was my second one.
Yeah, and you also had the over. Did you have the over or you had the under?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember.
Me neither.
Shit, I forgot what I had. Was George my? I don't think George was my second pick.
No, you had one anytime touchdown scorer, and it was George Pickens anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah, and then I don't know what the other one was. Shit, I forget. What did you have?
I had the over, and again missed another one. So the over couldn't hit that one. On the season, I am 2-3. I want to say maybe 2-4. You missed them both, so we didn't have any fucking winners last week. This week, we're going into Vegas. The Steelers are favorites. They're 3-point favorites. The over-under is 36.5. What is your bet this week, Jerry Don?
Najee Harris touchdown, anytime.
Najee Harris, anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to get going a little bit. I think, you'll see less of those Justin Fields, running it in for a touchdown. I think they want to get Najee Harris a touchdown on the board this year. I think they're going to give him the ball in the red zone, close to the goal line. So I'm going to take him to score.
I am not able to get right the over-under. Jerry, I'm so bad at picking these over-unders that I'm it's so fucking hard. If an alien spaceship was hovered over the world and they send a message down, Kevin Adams has to get the over-under right on the Steelers-Raiders game or we blow it all up. I hate to tell you, we're probably going to fucking die. I can't get these fucking things right. However, having said that, I think this week it is under 36.5. Like, I'm going to keep beating these fucking games. I don't think Aiden O'Connell can run it up on the Steelers. I think the defense should have a bounce back game. They're due. They still have no defensive touchdowns this season, as crazy as that sounds. I really think that they're due to really have a big game. We were in Vegas last year. There are a ton of Steelers fans that will be there yet again. I would imagine it is going to be very loud in there and not for the Raiders. I am going to take the under 36.5. I think the Steelers do win the game. I think it's closer than people think, though. I can see it being something like 17-14, somewhere around there.
I could see that too. 19-16, something like that. I could see that.
Yep. I don't see a very high scoring game. As much as we've wanted to say they'll have one, until they prove it again, I'm going to take the under. Jerry, I'm having a massive tailgate in Vegas this weekend. Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown are the guests.
That's crazy.
The terrible tailgate is going to be incredible. You know how many hoops I've had to jump through with AB in the last 3 days. Book me this flight. Change this flight. I'm number one Steelers receiver. I'm the GOAT. I want this flight first class. Know what? I'm coming in Thursday. I just had to cancel it. He wants to come in Saturday night. This guy, man, how Mike Tomlin dealt with him for as long as he did.
Jesus, yeah,
I've never dealt with anybody this chaotic in my entire life, but he's hilarious. The shit he texts is unbelievable, man. That's how I know it's not him running his Twitter account, though, because it takes me 5 or 10 minutes of reading his tweets back or his text back and be like, well, I don't know what he's even trying to say here. Like, I can't even decipher what the fuck the texts mean for a while. But yeah, AB and Le'Veon will both be at the terrible tailgate. You guys are more than welcome to join. We rented an entire parking lot very close to the stadium. It is all catered. So if you are in Las Vegas, tell a friend, come to the terrible tailgate. We want to see you there. We appreciate the shit out of you guys. Anything else you want to add this episode, Jerry Don?
Must win. It's just a must win. We don't win this, man. Season's in jeopardy.
Huge. This one's big. We'll record, Jerry, we will record Sunday. So I'll record from the hotel. I don't leave until late Sunday night, like 2 a.m. Cool. I'm leaving Vegas Monday morning. So we'll record from the hotel Sunday night. Are we going to do the live reactions episode Sunday?
Yeah, I think we should just do the live reaction, I think
Lucas is going to have it set up for us. So we will do, starting this Sunday, we'll do a live reactions episode. You guys can check it out on the YouTube. We'll get all the link and stuff put out on the Steel Here account information. So that way you guys can look ahead to that. We will do one as soon as I can get back to the hotel after the game, some point around 7:30 on Sunday night, I'm guessing is what it's going to be. We appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Jerry Don, we just eclipsed 17,000 subs now. So we are 3,000 subscribers away from giving somebody $2,000. One of the followers, we are still putting up the $2,000 as soon as we get to 20,000 followers. Like, comment, subscribe, share the show where you find it. We appreciate the shit out of you guys, and we'll see you here Sunday night.
See you Sunday night, Kev.
Later, Jerry.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.